Edgar Cayce, born in 1877, he had a different childhood than the most of the children since they dedicated much of his time studying the Bible, always looking for answers in his ancient texts. Often I studied outdoors in the woods from Kentucky from a very young age, while Edgar studied and claimed to see beings fairy-like that. He described more as spirits, that as humans at 11 years old, he had a vision in which a woman appeared in front of him and asked him what I wanted more in life. The answer of Edgar was amazing. I wanted to have the ability to help others, especially to sick children. This moment was decisive and marked the beginning of his journey in the prophecies, as well as his visions. Edgar faced difficulties in their studies. His father worried about his bad grades, reprimanded him often. In one of those moments, difficult, Edgar sad and discouraged, he lay back and heard the voice again. The woman suggested that he sleep with head-on textbooks. Curiously, by following this advice, he discovered that he could remember everything that I had read when I woke up. Cayce suffered a serious accident at school, seriously injuring his back to the point of not being able to move his family. She was terrified by the situation. Night, while I was half asleep, Edgar spoke out loud about a recipe herbal medicine. His parents were desperate to help him. They decided to try the recipe, for to everyone's surprise, Edgar recovered completely the next day, as if would never have hurt. This, you see, were the first signs of the Edgar's extraordinary abilities, that they would later reveal themselves. In a way, awesome. Edgar Cayce became known for making predictions about world events, including the start and the end of the two world wars, end of the Great Depression, and the death of two presidents of the United States. He also predicted the rise of China as world economic power and the end of communism in Europe, although some of his predictions did not come true, as the return of Jesus before the year 2000. His prophetic abilities generated both admiration and controversy, motivated by the desire to help others and for their new confidence in their skills. Edgar Cayce began to offer psychic readings unlike of other prophets of his time. Edgar's predictions were not limited to a single type of prophecy, addressed a wide range of topics from health and well-being to spirituality, lives past, ancient civilizations, and future technologies. The exploits of sleeping prophet were unlimited. In 1902, a young woman with a serious injury in the head was brought before him. Doctors thought he would not survive, but Cayce indicated that the problem was in his spine, not in his brain, suggested that doctors adjust his column. Edgar read the body as if out an X-ray machine, using medical terms with precision. Surprising, in a few months, the girl showed great improvement. It was not just that. Edgar also used his gifts for good of the economy. In 1929, knowing that the stock market was about to collapse, warned his friend to sell their shares. Those who listened to his advice, they managed to save a lot of money. Sometimes people asked Edgar Cayce who would win a horse race or what would happen in the stock market, and with frequency responded, bringing benefits to those who followed his advice. Some years later, he predicted that the economy would improve up to 933, and he was right again. 1934 said that Hitler would become an influential leader in Germany, which that same year Cayce was also fulfilled, predicted that Hitler's rule would last forever, and that a war from outside Germany would end its empire. Anticipated that a war significant would burst in the heart of Europe, and Germany started the Second World War that led to the end of the Hitler's reign. Correctly predicted that Germany, Austria, and Japan would form an alliance. Edgar Cayce spoke about the existence of ruins of an ancient civilization under the ocean near Bimini in the Bahamas in 1938, suggested that the city was the Atlantis, a very advanced city of the Cayce history saw Atlantis as a massive continent in the middle of the ocean Atlantic. Curiously, in 1968, some structures were found underwater Bimini tops that some researchers believe they can back up the prophecies of Cayce. Added that Atlantis was a civilization extensive with more advanced technology than ours, but disappeared under the ocean about 10,000 years ago, due to a big flood, could be this flood recorded by the Bible during the days of Noah, one of the Cayce most famous predictions were about the President of the United States said that this president would be African American, which was fulfilled with the Barack Obama's election. Edgar Cayce. He also predicted the deaths of the presidents John Kennedy and Franklin Roosevelt, anticipated civil rights issues and racial that would lead to riots social in the United States. During in the 60s, Cayce was aware of the realities of the Cold War. In the height of the Soviet Union's power, he said that the hope of the world would come from Russia, not in the context of the communism, but of freedom. He said that this hope would take time, but that eventually Russia would free itself from communism. What actually happened with the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, another impressive example, involves the Jewish sect known as the Essenes. In 1934, when little was known about them, Cayce provided descriptions detailed of the sect that later became, they confirmed, as accurate, even predicted that his record would be discovered, and documents only 12 years later, they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, written by the Essenes, giving credibility to Cayce's claims. All these amazing predictions of Edgar Cayce materialized in the 20th century. Curiously, Edgar also did some gloomy predictions for the current times. You are prepared for the biggest impact of your life. Here are the future ions. If you are enjoying the video, subscribe to the channel. Point taken now. For receive more videos like this. Edgar Cayce made startling predictions about changes in the geography of the Earth. He claimed that the continents would move and the climate would transform the world of ways we could never imagine, suggested that this change could occur simultaneously when the Etna volcanoes in Italy and Martinique they will enter eruption. Both are active volcanoes, Mount Etna being one of the most assets of the world, having entered into Mount Pelée, recently erupted. It is also considered active, although its last major eruption occurred in 1902. One of the most critical aspects of this change would occur in Africa. Cayce. He claimed that the continent would be divided into 3 separate parts, a process caused for the formation of a new path, massive aquatic, as the Nile River widen and the Red Sea grows significantly. This dramatic change could even submerge the bustling Cairo city under the sea. Asia, nor would he escape these convulsions. Cayce predicted changes in the geography of India, China, Japan, Korea, and Philippines. He stated that at the Pacific Ocean would advance and swallow up large tracts of land from the Philippines to Japan, leaving only some remaining islands. In addition to the Korean peninsula and parts of the coast, China would also succumb to the seas in growth. For India, Cayce gave a specific warning, advised not to seek refuge at higher elevations, highs in the country, due to the potential collapse of the ground. Instead, believed that the Himalayas in Tibet and Nepal would offer a safer haven for the Cayce Indians. Also made some less positive predictions for the Antarctica. Despite its harsh conditions, Antarctica is home to lots of wildlife, including penguins, seals, whales, and seabirds. The ice cap of the Antarctica provides a habitat essential for many species and places of reproduction for their offspring, in addition to protect them from predators and provide access to food without. However, Edgar Cayce predicted that the Antarctica would lose its ice cap, becoming a vast expanse green, ideal for agriculture. On the other hand side, said Australia would not have as much luck, predicted that floods would cover a quarter of their territory, making Australia into several small islands. Large parts of the country would be submerged under the ocean, causing mass displacement and loss of infrastructure of the populations of the coastal areas would be particularly affected by forcing internal migrations on a large scale and causing a crisis. Unprecedented humanitarian aid, in addition to the rising sea levels, would impact coastal ecosystems, resulting in the loss of habitats for many species native to Australia, and other parts of the world will also face changes. Dramatic North America, in particular, will experience major transformations in the ocean Atlantic will advance westward, causing seismic changes and landslides in several areas. The western United States, especially California, and other regions throughout of the San Andreas Fault, will experience a series of earthquakes. These geological changes are devastating, will transform the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico, making cities as New York and Miami are absorbed by the sea. Edgar Cayce also stated that South America will experience changes geographic significant. The followers of the prophecies of Edgar Cayce believe that their more gloomy predictions are yet to come. Anticipating a series of tastings and radical changes, Cayce predicted that the magnetic poles of the Earth could change drastically due to disturbances in the Earth's crust. This event could be triggered by several causes, such as the impact of a meteorite or a series of eruptions volcanic. According to him, once the axis from the Earth, the waves of shock resonate around the world, causing a series of natural disasters. Floods, earthquakes, and eruptions. Volcanic eruptions would destroy cities and entire communities. Also mentioned that the climate would change drastically, with summers turning into winters and winters turning into summers. Cayce also predicted the emergence of new lands in the Atlantic Ocean and along the east coast of America. From North America, also South America, would see new land formations along its western coast, while that Antarctica would reveal vast areas of new lands. Suggested that these new lands would be grand importance for the future of the humanity, perhaps offering new resources and opportunities for colonization. Edgar Cayce also spoke about the future changes in celestial bodies, predicting the discovery of planets outside our solar system that would affect the Cayce land. He mentioned that advances in technology would allow humanity to reach other planets, and that the understanding of celestial cycles would play a role crucial in the future development of the civilization. Also suggested that these changes would have an impact significant in human consciousness. I believe that humanity would enter a new era of spirituality and understanding as it will adapt to the new realities. This period of transformation would require that the people will connect more deeply with their spirituality and they will find a greater purpose in life. Edgar Cayce predicted that technological advancement would play a crucial role in overcoming his adversities. Spoke of discoveries that would allow the creation of new forms of energy and the exploration of technologies that defy the laws of physics known. Cayce also mentioned the importance of developing new forms of transport that would make the long trips were faster and safe and would allow the colonization of new lands. The legacy of Edgar Cayce as the sleeping prophet continues, fascinating and inspiring many people around the world. Their visions and predictions, some of which are they fulfilled in a manner impressive, are considered a testimony to the human potential for access to knowledge beyond the conventional limits. Cayce left a legacy of hope, urging the humanity to seek greater understanding, spiritual, and live in harmony with the forces of nature. The lessons that he shared through his readings, they continue to resonate, remembering the intering among all beings and the importance to work together towards a brighter future. I invite you to enjoy and subscribe to our channel. Share this video with others so they can benefit too. Leave a comment below to share your thoughts and experiences. Thank you for watching and joining us on this journey. We'll see you in the next video. Blessings.